After playing the heck out of Silver Palace Beta CBT2, I've already 100% completion on the world map and every endgame content that's available in this patch. So hey guys, Rexlent here. Welcome to another video. This video will be talking about the endgame so far that we know of since this CBT. So first things first, the gear, how the gear works in this game. I'll just briefly go through it because as you know, this is still CBT, so it doesn't represent the final build of the game. Anyway, for gear and character role wise, I'll start with character role. So as roles you can see over here, there's two kinds of DPS. Striker DPS, Resonance DPS. So Striker DPS is your classic DPS where they do damage with skills and ultimate. It's just pure damage most of the time. Resonance DPS basically means that they rely more on their elements to do damage. So you can see over here, I have Bentham as my Resonance DPS, and I have Ashley as my Striker DPS. So this is what the build looks like for Striker DPS. They rely on the classic crit rate and crit damage. As for Resonance DPS, they will rely on amplitude coefficient and an amplitude multiplier. This is their equivalent of crit and crit damage. So how Resonance DPS works is that basically whenever they attack enemies, it's going to build up a gauge, and when the gauge is full, it will trigger the respective Resonance DPS. So Bentham is 0 degrees. Whenever the gauge is full, they just take a DOT, damage over time, for 5 seconds, and then this will be persistent since every time you attack, it's going to build up the gauge over and over. So most resonance effects are similar in a way that it's DOT, like you see gravity, it's going to pull enemies and constantly deal damage. Decay is also continuously dealing a damage and also a zone that spawn underneath them. So it's pretty easy to understand. You just need to know that every time it's full, they just do more DOT. So they rely on both damage and DOT. Now that you know of the two DPS, moving on, we have Combat Support. Combat Support is your typical buffer. They will do either buffs for the team, debuff for enemy, or also crowd control skills. So for example, character like Cynthia II, she has a really good pulling AoE on her ultimate as well as a support skill. Next one we have is Break Suppressor. So Break Suppressor are characters that specialize in filling up the stun bar. The enemies have this yellow bar below their health, and whenever they're fully stunned, they will be vulnerable, and then you can execute them with a finisher move, and then you get a whole burst window. They will be in a down state for a really long time. So Break Suppressors, I would say they are very important in team setups. You rely on them to stun them quickly. Of course, you can also fill up the gauge with other DPS, but Break Suppressor just does it even faster. Lastly, Survival and Healing, very self-explanatory. They can provide healing for allies and also shielding. So characters like Gratia or Fertho, they can put shield and heal or damage reduction for allies. Very, very straightforward. I would say the bare minimum if you want to run a balanced team is have at least one DPS, one Break Suppressor, and Combat Support. Combat Support to buff the DPS. That's it. Now let's talk about the gear. So for gear, every character has a motive. Motive is pretty much your weapon, sort of your weapon, and you can farm motive from exchange shop and also from the gacha banner for specific character signatures, like 5-star character signature motives. So you can see here it's very straightforward. Something like this: character using motive gains attack, and then after using the skill, Ignis damage of all characters on the team increased by 7%, and then when you want to upgrade it, it will just give you base HP and attack, and then if you get more duplicates, you can increase the effect of the motive. So that's motive. Next one would be the simulation. So simulation is like your armor pieces. You know what I'm talking about, armor pieces. As you can see, there's two sections to this. There is the 4 piece over here and then 1 main piece. The good news is that the 4 main piece over here seemingly to have only fixed substats over here. They all have fixed substats. Like on this cap over here, it's defense, HP, damage bonus, and crit rate. If I click on this other cap, it's also the same. Defense, HP, damage bonus, crit rate. The only differing thing is that it's rarity. So you see purple has a higher substats total. So these 4 pieces are really straightforward. You just farm them from enemies and you spend stamina to get a chance to get them to drop. So 4 pieces, very straightforward. Everything is fixed. Just get them to highest rarity. Now for the main piece as well, the substats are also fixed, as you can see here. You also farm them from bosses in the map, and then you spend stamina for a chance to get them to drop. You can also get some of them from exchange shop by farming other currencies. However, even though the stats are fixed for the epiphanies, the main piece, for example, this one, Destined Death, it has attack, crit rate, and crit damage. You can farm extra copies of Destined Death, and then you feed it into each other. For example, over here, upgrade, I'll click on this extra Destined Death that I have. And what happens is that it will randomly upgrade one of the substats. So I click Perfection. As you can see, I get more crit damage. So there's a bit of RNG over here, but honestly, I wouldn't sweat over it unless you want to min-max like some speed kill. And then now for the next one, skill leveling. So skill leveling, look familiar? Skill leveling is also very simple. Starting from the main bottom nodes here, the leftmost one is basic attack. So basic attack, don't sleep on this. Some characters work on basic attack. They scale off basic attack. Like for example, this one, you hold basic attack. There's different effects here. And then some of them have their own signature moves inside basic attack. It could be inside a skill as well, or even an ultimate. So basic attack, straightforward. First hit, charge attack, dodge counter attack. Next one will be your skill scaling, skill level. Third one will be your ultimate level. So all of them, all different characters have different conditions. And the fourth one would be tactical assault. So tactical assault is when you fight enemies, and then when you have enough charges, you can switch a character in, and then they will do a specific attack, and that is called tactical assault. Usually, it benefits them in getting their rotation up quicker. For example, for Red Rose, when she switches in, she straight away gets 6 rose petals for her own gimmick. The last one has only one level. It's their passive. So this one is easy to level up. You always get this one for the character. It could benefit their damage or even support. And then after that, all the little notes up here, just basic attributes. But the last ones are usually really good. See, it gives you crit damage, 25% for Red Rose. So as you can see over here, whenever you want to level skill, these materials can be farmed from over the world map. You just spend stamina and then you get the skill items. However, the middle item over here, these are boss materials. So this one has a limit. When you want to farm bosses, you can only farm them once a day. And at the highest level, at the so far in CBT, you can only get about 5 a day. It's not too bad. At least they don't gate it behind weeks. You can do it every day. So eventually, you can get all your favorite characters to level 9 at the very least. And then level 9 to 10 requires this extra item, Twin Argent Strands. This one is more time gated. This one, you get it from a passive gameplay, and then once you have enough, you can exchange it over here to get it to 9 to 10. So we'll see how it goes in the final build. Now with that out of the way, you already know how the progression works in this game. The last one, typical, these are your duplicates. When you farm more, when you get more of the character in the gacha, you can put it over here, you can upgrade over here, and then they get more and more effects over here. And then over here, as for dailies, you just complete all these dailies every day. You get 4 refills every day for stamina, 60 times 4, as well as gacha currency. And then now that you know more or less, you know the progression system over here, let me show you the bosses, starting with the farming bosses that I told you that you can only farm once a day. So there's only 2 bosses so far in CBT that you can use on one of them, either Ashley, Cinderella, or this one, Vita at Morse. So I'll show you Cinderella. I will show you Bentham, how she works as resonance DPS. You'll notice that every time I attack, there's gonna be an ice icon, and then they take even more damage over time. So watch this. Yellow circle is parry, red circle is dodge. So yellow circle, parry. So I'll just get behind her. See how she's taking damage over time? It's a lot of damage. So this is resonance DPS. Okay, like this. Okay, red, dodge. Okay. Red, dodge again. She's gonna do some yellow combos again. Yellow combo. Okay, this one, dodge. So this is how resonance DPS works. All the numbers appearing. It might look very little at first when you build them for the first time, but once they're fully built, they actually do so much damage. You see, like ticking, damage ticking. Red. And then ultimate. And that's it. Firing squad. Bentham is so aura, man. 4-star character, by the way. I'm definitely gonna build her when this game releases. She's so good to play with. Now moving on to the next boss, Vita at Morse. This boss you already saw before from other videos. It's literally the first boss in CBT. I wonder if it's also the first boss when the game actually launches, but it's quite cinema. It really showcases how they can actually show you fighting gigantic bosses. Them doing their own thing. Since this is the very first boss, it's not too difficult. You just parry the yellow circles. Okay, let me use other characters. Let me use Ashley. So Ashley, you can just hold skill and she'll start shooting like this. And while she's doing this, she has iframe. Okay, parry. Also, the good thing about this game is that ever since the previous test, parrying has iframe now. And also, you do meaningful damage every time you successfully parry. See how every time I parry back, she chunks their HP. Okay, parry again. Oop. Okay. Parry, see? 8,000 damage per parry. And then... So, notice how on the bottom left, I have this one symbol. It's gonna build up to 2 now. You see how it's 2 now? That's the tactical assault. So, if I switch characters now, they're gonna do their tactical assault, and then it's gonna consume 1 charge. So, technically, if you have full charges of tactical assault, you can go back and forth between 2 characters instead of cycling through everything. So, it's up to you. You can do this. You see, I'm gonna switch in Cynthia. That's her tactical assault. Cynthia ultimate. It's gonna pull everybody. And then I'm gonna tactical assault Bentham. Get all the ads. Cinema. There you go. So that's tactical assault. I already used up all my charges, so I can't do tactical assault anymore. And then not much else is left. Boss is gonna die once I ultimate. There you go. Very cinema. I actually like the combat in this game. Very grounded in the parry and dodging. Like some fights are actual cinema. So that's it for the daily farming nodes for bosses. When you do start this game, if they follow the system, then you want to do this every day. You want to save 60 stamina every day to farm the skill material. Now for the next 2 endgame loop that they have set for us would be Hilbert's Hotel. This is Roguelike. Classic Roguelike. And then Thought Experiment. You can already tell what this is. 10 out of 10 progress and 30 stars. Let me show you what it is. 10 floors. And in the rules over here, after you beat the 10 floors, there's going to be another one that recurs every week or so. It's going to reset. You know the rules. This is the permanent one. So we only have the permanent one in this build. I'll show you floors 9 and 10. You need 2 teams now. Before, in the earlier floors, you only need 1 team. So I recommend having 1 DPS and 1 break support at the very least if you want to smoothly clear this. So I cleared this really early on with like just half a team in the other team. Just like 1 Ashley carry, and then the other team is like the MC carry, the free F2P characters carry with 1 Cynthia. So this is what it looks like. And then you have this thing called Reactor over here. This one's the one that makes or break a lot your team. This is adding extra effects when you do tactical assault. So you can see over here, for 16 seconds after they trigger tactical assault, you gain extra damage. After tactical assault, you do penetration. It's like good passives. So if you press quick equip, they will automatically put it for your main DPS. And then you can do the same for the other team. So let me show you what it looks like on floor 9. This one, you kind of want to spam your ultimate as much as possible because ultimates always stagger the enemy. But here we go. So this is the starting main character. I'll change it to Cynthia right away. Cynthia ultimate. So ultimate is going to stagger them. And then straight away, MC ultimate. After MC ultimate, I'm gonna use Alf. Alf ultimate now. You just want to stagger them as much as possible. And then I'll vent them in. Phantom ultimate. Everyone starts with full ultimate, so just like do everything. And it's gonna break soon. See the stun break? The stun gauge at the top? I'm gonna break it with Alf. Okay, Alf is already broken. Do the execution. Okay, main character in. Main character signature move. Phantom in. Phantom signature move. She's gonna cook with all the resonance damage, all the DOT. Main character in again. Main character ultimate. And that's done. So that's what I feel is the most effective way of clearing the floors. Even if you have low level characters, just fill it to the max team, full team, just so that they can spam ultimate and stagger the boss as much as possible. Same for this one. The time is also pretty forgiving to get 3 stars. I didn't have that much trouble when I was doing it the first time. Okay. Oops, got hit over there. Let me charge up a bit of my tactical assault. And then I'll get Ashley in. Okay, Ashley in. After Red Rose, since Red Rose gives a buff. I meant to bring Ashley in earlier, but I misclicked and I brought Red Rose in. Okay. Finisher will give a bit of tactical. Now I bring Ashley in. Shoot this. Signature. Now I use ultimate. So for Ashley's ultimate, I think just spamming skill and basic attack is the fastest. She has complete iframes doing this. And then just hold basic for this. And then she'll finish when the time's up with this attack. I'm gonna bring Red Rose out again. And then I'm just gonna put a buff up. And then I'll bring Ashley in again. So that's what I mean by the tactical assault. Like that. There we go. So that's floor 9. Now moving on to floor 10. So floor 10, same thing. Just use all your ultimate as much as you can. Just keep them staggered. And get your tactical assault off. Okay. Ultimate. Ultimate again. Okay. I'll just bring Ashley in right away. So 2 times skill. Basic. She does so much damage. I highly recommend getting her. If she's still this strong on the final release, definitely get her. There we go. Now for the next boss. I would say this might be the hardest boss that we have so far in this build. It's the double boss, Manager and Supervisor. This one, you kind of not want them to let them cook. So, straight away, do everything you can. Because you're going to use Alf quickly so that she can break them. Flamethrower. MC in. Ultimate. I'm gonna bring Alf in again. Alf's gonna break. Okay. Took a bit of damage there, but it's fine. Look at them. This is what happens when they cook. Okay, we can recover from this. Vent them in. Ultimate. Phantom signature. Cynthia ultimate. And I'm gonna switch into MC. MC ultimate. There we go. So that's thought experiment. Pretty simple. You should be able to build them before the reset ends. Moving on to the next gameplay, which is the Roguelike. Alright, so over here we have Hilbert's Hotel, the Roguelike, and these are the weekly missions. You need about 2 runs to complete all of this, and it gives about 900. It gives 900 gacha currency. You need 3,600 for 10 rolls, so technically 4 weeks, and then you can do a 10 roll. And this over here is the permanent upgrades. You get a set amount of currency to activate a node each time. At the max level, you get 1 node per run. 100 to activate 1 node. So yeah, I'm already almost done with this. And then moving on to the stages, we have 2 different stages for this CBT now. The third one is locked. The 2 stages have their own difficulty, going up to level 60 as of this build. And the only thing that differs the 2 different stages are the bosses at the end. The enemies are mostly the same. So I recommend doing either level 5 or level 6 to get the max amount of rewards. And the special thing about this roguelike is that you only control 1 character. The other 3 characters will be supporting QTE support. So when you have enough charges, you can summon them to help fight in the battlefield. So I highly recommend having Cynthia as a support, because every time you call her in, she's going to pull all the enemies together. And of course, Ashley is also OP. So right at the start, I recommend just refreshing for the character-specific upgrades like this one, increasing Ashley's ultimate charging and damage. And this is how it goes. Usual roguelike, you can manage the upgrades over here in your inventory when you get more than 3 next time. And then you can also equip on your supporting characters. Every time you call them, they can give buffs to your main character. And of course, the more upgrades you pick, the same upgrades you pick, the more they will level up. And then they might even evolve into stronger versions. So just like that. Ashley is really OP here, man. I feel like she's gonna be the first limited character. Like, kind of obvious at this point. And then, yeah, she carries a lot in a lot of content. And over here, you pick up all the catalysts. You can pick it for the main character or also for the side characters. It's labeled over there. When I summon Cynthia, look how she pulls everybody. And then I just shoot them with my MG. And then I'll just call her again. I'll just keep calling Cynthia. Just rely on your QTE a lot. Pull them all together. And then just spam your skills. So that's what a typical stage looks like. Same thing. Just keep calling QTE to stagger them before they can do anything. That's what Alf is good for. You summon Alf and then she'll use a shotgun and then she breaks the enemies really fast. I think like just summoning her 3 times and then they will be staggered already. And since Ashley is just relentless with her attacks, she charges the reactor gauge really fast again, and then you can just summon the QTE over and over again. Once you venture deep enough, you're gonna end up in the supplies shop. So this one's always fixed. The middle one restores HP. The right side one, this one, privilege card, are all stats. So I recommend just buying everything here. It's all stats. Everything that you need. Attack, defense, HP, damage. The one on the left, the shop on the left is catalyst, but usually when you're this late into the floors, your inventory might already be maxed out. Everybody already has something equipped, so this one just goes into your bag. So this one might not be as important unless you're missing some crucial upgrades. So here we go, final boss. Final boss is easy. Even if you're not very good at this game, it's not too difficult. Just spam your attacks like what I'm doing right now. Just keep spamming all the QTE, all the support from the characters. Spam ultimate. See how fast they go down. At this point, when you select, as long as you select all the upgrades for your main character, you should be able to clear this no problem. So he's getting speed run. There you go. Boss barely did anything. Like so. Now, whenever you finish the floor, you can either claim some rewards using stamina or just get out. Technically, you're already done, and you see how there's a door at the end called bonus challenge. That is exactly it. It's completely optional. You can fight a really strong boss after the boss floor. I think there was a one-time reward for it, but after that, there's nothing else. It's completely optional. So it'll look like something like this. It's this cringe twin bosses again. So I'm not gonna let them cook. I'm just gonna keep spamming Cynthia's tornado to stagger them, and also Alf's shotgun so that she breaks them. See, they're already stunned. And then I'm just gonna use my ultimate, get them both together while they're stunned, and at the same time just continue calling in my supports to keep them staggered all the way. See how fast they go down? 2 targets, so they're taking both damage. Cynthia keeps them together, so they're always taking double damage. Ultimate over, use my signature attack, and then I'll do the same again. Spam all my attacks while vacuuming them. See, I can't let them cook. They're crazy. They mix up both yellow and perfect dodge attacks, yellow and red. It's really fun as a boss. Technically, to me, I think they're the strongest boss right now in the game. So I'm really excited to see what they can cook with challenging bosses. But yeah, that's it for one perfect run. And over here, so this is what I mean by you needing 2 runs a week to complete the weekly missions. So you can also rely on 4-star characters, not just 5-star characters, to clear it. So you can also use Bentham here. Bentham is also pretty good, but I like to rely on Cynthia as my support. Cynthia is just so good, man. When the game is launched, I just recommend pulling her. She just vacuums everybody together, and then it makes it easier. So right now, let me show you Bentham. Bentham, Ice DOT, ultimate hits like a truck. Oh, so satisfying. And then I'll just keep up with Cynthia vacuum. Just keep hitting them to put the DOT on them. And as the ultimate's ready again, so I'll just align them and use my ultimate again. So just keep them staggered all the way. When this game releases, just keep them staggered all the way. Don't let them cook. Keep them staggered and keep spamming Alf. Alf shotgun straight away does 1/3 of their stun bar. She breaks them, and then you can do finisher on them again. And then you can keep the whole loop up again. See, they're barely moving. These bosses usually have a final phase. Like, they have a whole cutscene, but I'm not gonna let that happen. Just not gonna let them do anything. 4-star character, by the way. So, cinema. Optional boss, so you don't have to worry about it. This one is completely optional. The main boss was before this, easy boss. But this just goes to show that you don't have to use 5-star characters to clear it. See? All cleared. So there we go for the rest of the missions. Just 2 runs and then you get all of it. Anyway guys, that's it for the endgame rundown for CBT2. There will also be a CBT3, so I'm curious what new content we'll get. But yeah, as of now, I think Silver Palace is pretty promising. I actually really like the combat. It's not too fast, but it's satisfying. There's a lot of back and forth. I always like games with back and forth parrying and perfect dodging. And also there's a degree of difficulty in certain bosses. Excited to see how they're gonna cook with future bosses. But yeah, let me know what you think about the endgame. I think, as for me, Roguelike and that other tower, the 30 stars tower, are standard across most games. But hopefully they can increase difficulty and add more like boss focused stages, since I like fighting bosses. But otherwise, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.